and welcome to yet another episode of Witches and Wine. This is the show where we talk about witchy stuff and we drink wine. Clink and drink. So before we get started, I'm going to turn it over to Silenus, and he's going to talk about the wine we're drinking tonight. Take it away, Silenus.
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
Hi, guys. Tonight, I chose Mascota Vineyards La Mascota Cab Franc. Nice, big, full-bodied Cab Franc. Runs $16 to $20 a bottle. It's out of Argentina region. This winery is actually my favorite Argentinian winery. And where I work at, I have, like I said, have lots of access to wine. We just got this in, and I had to make sure I got my hands on it because we sold out of it within 3 days.
Yeah.
It is that good.
It's that good.
So if you can get your hands on it, I highly, highly, highly recommend it.
You like
Definitely
it?
a full body.
Yeah.
Got some blackberry, a little bit of chocolate, and a little bit of coffee coming through. I'm going to go ahead and step out now. We have a special guest tonight. It's an elder of Lola's. Helped her get started in the craft, and she'll bring him in. So I'll see you guys next week.
Thank you, honey. Pinch your butt. Oh, I missed his butt. Come on, scoot over. Scoot over. It takes a while. It's like, can you move the dog, Phil? There you go. See, there you are. We have to get really close.
We get friendly. It's
We get friendly. There you go.
Here I am getting friendly.
Yes.
Is this my wine here?
Yes, that's your wine.
All right. Thank you.
Clink and drink. That's our motto. I love how you two do it too.
Drinking is good. Drunken is not.
Yeah, drunken is not. Oh well.
No more wine for you.
Because he goes, drunken is good.
We have alternating theories on whether
Come not drunk to ritual.
Yes, just be happy. So I will introduce this wonderful man over here. This is my high priest that initiated me into all my degrees, who was a big part of teaching me the old ways, and I just love this guy. This is Graybeard. Hi, Graybeard. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Lola.
I'm so glad that you're here. And what's the topic we're going to talk about?
Tonight we're talking about Wiccan morals, which starts with any harm none, do as ye will, and it ends with any harm none, do as ye will.
So you say it's a long list.
It's very tightly controlled moral standards we have.
Yeah. Right? So why do you think that people, you were saying earlier that people have a hard time letting go of their old Christian or puritanical cultural morals?
We live in a culture that's very uptight with moral standards that come basically out of fundamentalist, puritanical, Christian, Jewish, other kind of moral standards, and Wicca is not like that. Wicca is a very ancient fertility cult. I'm reminded of the Radio the Gospel of the Witches from the 1800s, where they, the Italian witches said, after the feast is over, turn off the lights and make love in the darkness.
Yeah.
All men and women together.
Make love. What's the...
Sing, dance, make music, and love.
Yeah, sing, dance, make music, all in my name. Yeah.
Yes. And then there was the Margaret Murray came along and wrote books called The Witch Cult in Western Europe, and
that was a hard read for me, by the way. I'm just saying
it's a hard read because she doesn't
she's
translate.
She's a
anthropologist,
so it's very dry.
And her writing was about witches' morality, which is quite different from Puritan morality, and her books have been, quote, discounted, mostly not because she did factual errors, but because her morality was unthinkable.
Yeah. She talked about things that made people go, oh!
Yes.
No!
And so the OTO and Aleister Crowley came along and said, do as you will shall be the whole of the law. And then they added
emphasis on the whole.
Love is the law, love under will.
Yeah.
And finally, in the middle of the 19th century, Gerald Gardner came along and started writing books on witchcraft. And he wrote Do As You Will, If It Harms None.
Mm-hmm.
He added the If It Harms None, Do As You Will. But
So-
it's still Do As You Will is the
main component.
Is the commandment.
So Gardner added that, and people kind of get hung up on that part and kind of forget about the
They,
do as you will, right?
A lot of people forget the Do As You Will. They focus on the harm none,
Yeah.
which is just a modifier to Do As You Will.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going along having a good time doing as you will, and you feel like strangling somebody, you don't strangle them because that's harming somebody.
Yeah. But you
But-
should know that.
But if you just want to sing, dance, make music, and love, all in the name of the goddess,
All in my praise.
that's 100% moral in Wiccan religion.
So, do you think that there's still, we were saying earlier, there's people holding on to their, obviously
Obviously.
this would make Christians and other people that are not of our faith kind of go, oh, no. But there's still pagans and Wiccans that have a
lots
hard
of them.
time. They're kind of uptight.
In the middle of the 20th century, Gerald Gardner made all the witches take all their clothes off and do rituals naked.
Skyclad, yeah.
Skyclad, and that forced people to put their cultural morals behind them in some other closet.
Yeah.
And then they did sexual rites in the circle.
The Great Rite.
In certain occasions, and some convents did it every full moon, and that doesn't violate any Wiccan moral teachings,
As long as there's consent between the two.
as long as everybody's having a good time and nobody's getting hurt.
Yeah.
And if you weren't consenting, you probably wouldn't be there.
That's true.
It's how they looked at it.
That is true. Do you?
But then it came over to Americas, and the Americans, a lot of them didn't want to get naked in the circle because it's just wrong.
This is unheard of.
And and they don't want to do great rites, so we have the symbolic great rites, and
The chalice and the
and
and
we
the
don't
blade.
do naked rituals because, for a lot of reasons, but just Americans tend to be more uncomfortable with it.
Well, I know a lot of covens that I've dealt with online that I've talked to that practice Skyclad quite a bit, and we've brought that into discussion about the comfort level. I know for me personally, I was saying earlier, the first time I ever did a Skyclad ritual was at one of the festivals. And I loved it. But it's not the first time I've been naked in a big group of people.
Yeah.
So maybe I was already comfortable with that. But I understand Skyclad. I get why you do it because it totally lets down all your inhibitions and any kind of preconceived notion. Ego is out of the way, and we're all the same.
You have to kind of deliberately put aside a lot of moral teachings that you learned before you're in kindergarten. There's that movie or book that came out.
You
Said
could scoot in closer.
everything I needed
There
to
you
know
go.
I learned before I was in kindergarten.
Yeah.
And a lot of that stuff is moral teaching that's really hard to get rid of.
Yeah. We
People-
both moved our arm. One of us
yeah.
has to have our arm around. There,
Arm
I'll
around
do
the
that.
back.
There we go. I'll do that.
A lot of people just think, well, that's just wrong when they think about nudity or body functions or other kinds of things. If you go to big pagan gatherings in the 1990s, they were all clothing optional.
Yeah.
And if you go there now, a lot of them aren't clothing optional, and a lot of them are still clothing optional, but you don't see anybody naked.
Yeah.
And
Well, we were talking about there's a lot of things, and I don't want to stray too much. I mean, it might happen. We do that sometimes. But a lot of it is people get offended easily. People get, you have to be very careful in this day and age about sexualizing somebody, which because you will run into, and this is why they have rules at pagan festivals, because there are those people that ruin it for the rest of us that do use our religion as an excuse to just get laid. Now, if they're having fun and getting laid, that's one thing, but I feel there's sometimes predators that will be like, hey, I've met some that are just like,
I'm going to throw this out for the moms who have teenagers. I went to a pagan gathering called Dragon Fest in 1991, and there were some other associated coven from Iowa that we camped out with, and their teenage son was 14 or 15. He had a tent all of his own, and he'd met this 13-year-old young lady from another camp, and so the two of them were
in the tent,
sleeping together in the tent for the weekend while we were there at the festival.
Yeah.
And I was new to Wicca at the time, and I asked the elder priestess, what about these teenagers sleeping together for the festival? And she said, "Oh, do as you will. These young people are learning about sex, and they're having a good time. And,
yeah.
There's no moral standards in Wicca that says that's wrong."
Yeah. As long as they're not... kids are going to do it anyway.
They're going to do it anyway.
They're doing it whether they go on the nature walk or not.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's different because their parents are consenting for them to be doing it.
Yeah.
In comparison to trying to hide it from their parents.
Trying to hide
Their
it from their
parents are
parents.
It's better because then you know that there's a conversation going on about protection.
There's all those
And there's
conversations going on.
And conversations are very important. This is
We
one
weren't
of the
trying to
things that came
pretend
up
that
earlier
the
today.
children weren't going to be doing it, or that teenagers.
Well, and I think pagan parents are really open with their children. I know that I'm very open with my kids about sex and our bodies and attraction to others, and and I have boys, and I know my boys are gonna get little chubbies when they get excited about something, and it's okay, and you have to show, like I call it little chubbies. I don't think my teenager boy would be like, "It's not little." It's a big chubby. I'm so glad the boys aren't here right now. They would be so mortified. You're talking to YouTube people about my chubbies. But no, it's very it's a different kind of mindset, but there's still us that are more open about it.
It's not just sex and nudity either. It's,
there's more to
all
it.
kinds of other morals that we don't have. We talked earlier about hurting someone's feelings, and
Yes.
your feelings are your own. I don't own your feelings. If I say something that offends you,
Yeah. And you've never said anyone that offends anyone, Graybeard.
probably not. I tend to. If
She's covering her face. Oh, that was
I always
awesome.
tell them, if I haven't offended you yet, come over here and I'll offend you personally.
That's a line from the Build a Cat.
Oh my gosh. That's why I love you, Graybeard. You just you own your shit.
That's right. Your responsibility is to you and the gods, and it's not to everybody else that is some kind of sensitive that gets offended if you say the wrong word.
Yeah.
If somebody says something wrong with me or something I find offensive, that's my problem. It's not their problem.
Yeah.
And vice versa. And our culture has become extraordinarily sensitive about whatever somebody says is just wrong, and they're willing to punish people for saying the wrong thing. And I don't see how that fits with
the
and you harm none, do as you will.
With the Wiccan, way, and we were talking about people being sensitive and that having that. People, we're all pouring wine around here. It happens, and you hear the clink. It's a wonderful background noise, clinking glasses, and it's witches and wine. What do you expect?
Come not drunk to the ritual, and get drunk after the ritual. Sing, turn out the lights, and make love in the darkness.
Yes.
As the Italian witches said.
Yes. Well, they're Italian.
That's right.
Those Italians. There's a shirt that says Italians do it better. I don't know if you've ever seen that shirt.
I haven't.
Never.
You've never seen that shirt? Oh, you're
I'm
such a smart ass.
Sark is my second favorite asm.
I just got it. So, let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about the people that ruin it for the rest of us. So I had brought up earlier the predators, the people that abuse that that ability to be free with them, with ourselves. But there are people, don't you think, and again, it's opinions, and everyone's opinion is valid.
Yeah.
Don't you think there are people that do that, and that's why sometimes we have to be a little more careful?
I've had people I didn't know come up and kiss me at a ritual, and trying to be a very nice person.
Yeah.
And
and you married her.
yeah,
Is that how you guys met? Oh my God, I love that!
so
I asked permission.
You asked permission.
Before or after?
That's awesome.
I think people get a little
Bent out of shape.
way overly bent out of shape. You can't hardly flirt with anybody anymore because they're even flirting has become wrong.
Yeah, but there's a line, and the only reason I'm being devil's advocate because I like to do this. I we have people that might watch the show, and I don't want people to think that we're just saying go out and grab everyone's tits and be disrespectful. Even if you want to do that, you can come to my house. But there's a
Your husband says no.
Get in
That
line.
was just
we'll,
Nick's.
we'll talk later. There's
No, you shouldn't be out
just
molesting people. That's
yes,
ridiculous.
but there's a line, don't you think? There's a line that
There's a
we
respectability.
you got to show respect, and I think you can combine respect with having fun. I don't
Sure.
think that's too difficult to do. I do it. I try to do it.
Yeah.
I try. Don't you think so?
If you don't want to play in somebody's tent, don't go to his tent with them.
That's true, because they're... Did you just say exactly?
Exactly.
And do you have more to talk? Anyone want to add to that? Why'd you say exactly?
Because if you're going to go to somebody's tent,
Yeah.
that's the whole intent.
Intent in the tent.
Intent.
That's right.
The intent in the tent.
Sex
Yeah.
intent.
It's like going.
Sex
It's like
tent.
going to an orgy and getting mad that everyone's naked. Like, you know what I mean? Because I don't
That's
know.
right.
It's because there are certain things where.
So long as you know it's an orgy ahead of time.
Well, yes. I mean,
I
if
know
you.
of some situations where people are like, I
Oh.
didn't sign up for this.
I'm in the wrong
That's
place.
a whole different story.
Yeah.
You're into the wrong tent.
I'm in the wrong tent. I thought this was the arts and crafts tent.
Well, you're building something.
There's.
Nice little cone of powder.
Whatever feels good and doesn't hurt anybody,
Then do
and you
it.
feel like doing it,
Then do it.
Wiccan morality encourages you to do it.
Yeah.
Um,
And if you're with other
I'd like to
like-minded people,
I like to think that we're here on Earth to live a full, rich, wonderful life. We have reincarnated, or I did, anyway, to enjoy my life.
yeah.
I'm here sucking all the marrow out of
glad you-
life. I got that from a movie.
I'm glad you finished it with marrow. So, we're all sucking something. And I like that. And I remember you've talked about that. This, some people get really hung up on this life. What's the meaning of life? And,
42.
I'm... what?
42.
42. Yeah.
I found out why that is 42.
It's from the
The
Hitchhiker's
ASCII,
Guide.
it's from the ASCII code.
Yep.
42 is an asterisk, and it stands for anything you want it to
Yeah.
be. And
Yeah.
I read this
It's
thing
everything.
years ago, and I didn't find
You
that
didn't-
out till just this year.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Little-
the ASCII value of an asterisk is 42.
You
Right.
caught up.
I finally got it.
At what age?
No
Well, what-
comment.
So you
I
guys understand what we're
refuse to
talking about?
answer on the grounds that it incriminates me.
So you guys understand about in the programming world, you use an asterisk in place of searching for anything that could possibly fit in there. So it doesn't matter what
People
it
put
is.
them in words that they don't want to put the letters in the middle. They put 3 asterisks.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, when it does a search in
It
programming, it
starts
looks
with
for
an
anything
and,
that has
Yeah.
it has
any
3
characters.
asterisks. They're not trying. They're trying to say something else.
Like, they say the word bitch, but they'll
Nike,
spell out
you know,
B-I...
They might want to
Asterisk,
They
asterisk.
might not have wanted to write out Nike. So
Yeah.
they put in asterisk, asterisk, asterisk.
Why would Nike want to...
they're having a new campaign that's out right now that's very
It's a
controversial for a lot of
political.
people.
It's a political campaign.
Oh, we don't want to talk about that. So anyway,
it's become a new N-word.
oh, Nike's the new N-word. Maybe we'll
Also
talk.
an older N-word.
So anyway, the asterisk
Anyways, the
can
asterisk.
mean anything you want it to mean,
And that's
why it's
42.
42, yeah.
So, anyway, we were talking about the meaning of life besides 42. People get kind of hung up on the seriousness of it. Why am I here?
I don't think the gods are trying to teach us anything.
You think that they're...
I don't think so. I'm not here to learn something. I learned it all 3 or 4 lifetimes ago.
So you're just here to have fun. And,
You know...
what about your next life? Same thing? Have you learned all you needed to learn, and so now it's just party time?
Oh, yeah. Do as you will.
Yeah.
Have a good time.
I like that. I think that is a wonderful way to live. And
I mean, I could... there's a Hindu thing that creeps into... and Taoist stuff that creeps into Wicca about going through lives and learning more in each life, and you have things you're supposed to learn, and eventually you become so enlightened you never come back.
oh,
You never
Yeah.
reaching nirvana.
Nirvana.
Reaching
Yeah,
nirvana.
Nirvana.
And
yeah,
that's not Wiccan. That's
Hindu.
It's Hindu or Taoism.
Taoism. Or one of
Yeah,
those.
yeah.
And,
What is it? Taoism?
Buddhism,
Buddhism, okay.
Taoism, Hinduism all have those same nirvana concepts. They just have different names for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Wicca doesn't. We're
Cycles, circles.
we're circles. The circle. It's a never-ending circle.
Yeah.
It's the circle of life and death again. And so we're here to come back and have a good time being part of life, and then we get all rested up from all the hardships that we went through while we were having a good time. And
that's Summerland,
and
which we talked
Summerland.
about last week. Look at how
we
these
talked
all
about
connect.
Summerland last week, and then they come back and get some more wine and have a good time.
Yeah. Well, I think
Wine is life.
what is that? Veritas, Vino Veritas.
Vino
Yes,
Veritas, wine is
Vino
life.
Veritas, wine is life.
Thank you,
Does
Frank.
anyone have anything to say about that? About what we've been talking about?
Any harm done, do as you will. And do as you will is the commandment.
You think it's the commandment?
Yeah, any harm done is just a caution.
A side note or
A caution.
An anecdote?
A caution is to
an add-on?
consider while you're doing as you will.
Yeah. I think they put that on there because maybe people might have been like, woohoo, no consequences. But there's the whole taking responsibility. If there are
You have to have
consequences, this is how I view it.
There's
If
a
you
positive effect.
if you harm someone, okay, so if you want to do as you will, and
I
you
have
want
a
to,
wine stain on my beard.
well,
I've
it's
been looking
okay.
at the camera.
It's okay. You fit right in. I always have. I have purple teeth in every episode I've looked, and I'm like, I have purple teeth. People